Hi, my name is Michael, and I'm doing my topic on why college athletes should not be paid. And according to my survey, a lot of you don't really watch or like college sports, which surprised me. I thought a lot of you would like college sports. I mean, I thought it was just a big halftime or pastime. But there's a lot of arguments both ways, but I'm gonna be for the side that I don't believe they should be paid. You can go to the next slide. Well, for starters, they're student athletes firstly, like student athletes. Like they should be focusing on school and getting their degree, not just playing a sport. There's over 1,000 colleges in the United States this fall that will be having sports, like a sporting team, like, competing at D1 through D3 level. And only 20 of them out of every single sport, or every single school is gonna make any money. You started on my second slide, by the way. There's one before this. I'm like 90% sure. It's alright. Just go ahead. I'll just do that in order. It's okay. There's only about 20 of these schools that actually make a profit at all for their athletic departments and their school, because it honestly costs way more money than you think for these like big football teams and basketball teams like Duke, Iowa, North Carolina, and then football, Ohio State, Michigan State. Like, you guys all watch those on TV and think like, wow, this is crazy. They have to make so much money, all these 20,000 people watching, but in reality, they really don't make any money, except the 20 schools out of the over 1,000. You can go to the next slide. So, I think that it's a privilege to play college sports. Like, it's something you should want to do. You should be playing because you love the sport and you really want to play the sport because you're playing it at the second highest level, besides like professional if the sport goes that high. And you get a lot of free stuff regardless. A lot of kids get free tuition, free 4 years of college, they get their free degree, and I mean, that should be payment enough to play a sport. And you also get a lot of free things, like you get like free clothes, like hats, stuff like that for like playing your sport also, which is also payment. And if you start paying college athletes, you'd have to pay every single sport at every single level, especially like the lower schools, like D2 and D3 sports, like things you guys wouldn't even think of, like bowling, tennis, things like that. Like, whenever you think of college sports, you think of everything on TV, like Michigan State, Ohio State playing football, and things like that. But you have to like take into account the D2, D3 sports in schools like bowling, things like maybe 10 people go watch those. Like, I mean, you wouldn't have enough money. The college wouldn't have enough money to be able to pay every single sport at every single level. It just wouldn't work out. And with the 1,000 schools from the last slide, all 1,000 of those schools have at least 15 sports that they'd have to pay, which, just assume there's about 50 athletes on every sports team, and then 15, that's a lot of money you'd have to pay out. You would have also, if a school would decide to pay athletes, even if it's just a little compensation, the school would have to start making cuts for other things, like maybe like a lower end sporting thing, like bowling or something. They might have to cut that out of their school. They might have to not do events, like things like that, which would really, make the college less enjoyable for a lot of other people who like to play the sport for fun, because you would have to start taking away from like kids who actually just want to play the game for the love of the game, who are say like, second, third string players, but they just love playing and love being on a team. You might have to cut some of them because you couldn't afford to pay them, especially if they're not contributing as much as like the bigger name people. And a real case where this is actually argued about, because it's not as heavily talked about now, because it's just kind of, they know they shouldn't pay them and they don't deserve to be paid, especially because they have the option to go pro if they really are that good. I mean, which can earn you millions of dollars in the NFL or the NBA or something. But recently, an argument came back up because I don't know if anyone here plays video games, but there's like Madden, 2K, all the sports video games. Well, there's also college football and basketball games like NCAA Football 14, and they actually had to stop making it because a lot of previous college players started to sue and the NCAA and EA Sports for making the game because they're using their likeness. They don't use any names or anything, but they're using their likeness on the bigger name teams like Oregon and Ohio State and stuff. So because of that, and they're getting sued and they're losing a lot of money, they're not able to make the game anymore. And they're trying to kind of get all the legal stuff worked out and try to remake the game eventually, but it's already been out for 3 years. Like, they've skipped 3 years of making the game when they were making it annually every single year. So I'm going to go to the next slide. In conclusion, I think that college athletes definitely should not be paid. I don't think it would work out. It would, come into a lot of things with taking away other things from other people and only suiting to your bigger student athletes and sports and whatnot, which I think would hurt everybody in general. And I think if you're playing college sports, you should be playing because you love the game, not because you want money. That's all.